Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Monday Morning Digest. I'm your host, Godfrey, Gichuki, and this is your Monday very favorite show where we, dive into a number of subject areas, business, finance, a little bit of politics, and some of the other social issues. And today we have an exciting conversation that is lined up for you. So as usual, please share, those of you that are following this conversation online. And we are live, of course, on the social media platform Elevate TV Kenya, our Facebook page, and the YouTube channel. Please remember to share with your friends. Welcome to this show, and let's get this conversation underway. Now, today I have a special guest with me on the show, and we're going to be talking about taxes, the pain, the puzzle, and the paradox of taxes. This is an interesting conversation because I think we are constantly talking about taxes, but unfortunately there is a lot of ignorance. A lot of people don't understand these things. Taxes can be a little bit of technical in terms of from the finance side of things. But today I have the pleasure of hosting someone that is very, very familiar with the tax system in this country. He's a trainer, he's a financial advisor, and so he's going to be taking us through a lot of things. So those of you especially who are in the academic side of things, you're doing your CPA, or you're an accountant, a consultant, an auditor, I think you can tune in, and let's see if we will mislead you. I'm sure we will not mislead you. But if you have any questions or issues that you'd like to ask, please feel free to engage with us. So, Mr. Kairu Maguta, yes. Welcome to the show this morning.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm very happy to have you here.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So, Mr. Kairu, we met, in a training forum, and we have since developed a friendship.
Yes.
And clearly, I think my interaction with you have been very, very fruitful. I've learned a lot of things, even just conversation in terms of personal finance, and you're also in business. So I think what I want you to do is to look at that camera, welcome our viewers, and also introduce yourself briefly.
Okay, thank you, thank you so much, Bwana Gigi. This is Kairu Maguta. I'm a consultant in finance. Matters to do with investment, the issues to do with the taxation, business management. I've been engaged in business restructuring in so many businesses. In addition to that, I'm an author. I've written quite a number of books in finance, advanced management of finance, management accounting, advanced management accounting, and some other books. So I want to welcome our viewers today in this forum where we are discussing the issues to do with the taxation. There are so many things that have happened in this country and which we need to understand when it comes to taxation. We will be discussing some other issues surrounding finance, but we'll have another day for investment and finance more than that.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so everyone is welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what I've realized, Bwana Kairu, is that a lot of people actually later on, when they discover how serious the conversation is, they watch this show after. And so I want to welcome those of you that might be watching this maybe 2 weeks later, that this is a conversation that is very, very important, and you're going to learn a lot. So Bwana Kairu, I think what we shall do is we'll begin from the beginnings.
Yes.
First of all, let's unpack the issue of taxes. We want to focus most of our energy on taxes. Maybe you can map out the current tax. What sort of taxes are in place right now? and why. Maybe we can start with the why.
Okay.
Why government charge taxes? I mean, you are finance experts.
Yes,
you should
yes,
be able to answer your students straight away. I can imagine when you're beginning a class, so that's what you tell your students. Why do government charge taxes? Yeah, so you can begin from there.
I'll start from very far. In 1776.
Yes.
Adam Smith wrote a book.
Okay.
The Wealth of Nations.
Yes.
He listed 4 canons of taxation.
Okay.
So we are talking of tax, not the one that was brought yesterday by our current government,
okay,
or the Kenyatta government, Kibaki government, and Moi government.
Yes.
The issue of taxes have been there.
Okay.
Even in the Bible.
Okay.
We talk of let Caesar be given what belonged to him.
Yes.
It is all about tax.
Okay.
The government will not run without source of revenue.
Yes.
And the only way, one of the resources that the government has, it is its people.
Yes.
The people should contribute towards the government kitty to enable the government run the country. And the government does so for the benefit of its people.
Exactly.
So the issue of taxation, it is us supporting our government.
Yes.
It has always been there. It will be there. It is there. The only difference is how it is administered by different governments. So taxes, revenue correction by the government, if you can simplify it that way. And there is no government that will run without correcting taxes.
Absolutely. You know, you talked about the 1776 book by Adam Smith.
Yes.
And the 4 canons.
Yes.
Maybe you should remind those first year
kids
what those 4 canons are.
Actually, the issue of the canon of taxation and what Adam Smith was trying to list down, of course, some other authors came up with additional rules or principles to taxation.
Yes.
The first one is the issue of equality.
Okay.
If I am earning 1 million shillings, I should be taxed based on my income.
Okay.
If I am earning 10,000, I should be taxed based on my income. And as we continue, I'll try to explain how our current government or our government has failed on equality.
Okay.
So the main one, the issue to do with equality. The other one is the economy.
Okay.
Today, the government will wake up, we are going to correct tax to a mama boga.
Yes.
They spent 10 million shillings to correct 200,000.
Okay.
It's not economical.
Yes.
So the government should come up with a way to make sure that whatever we spend to correct tax, at least it's lower than the tax we correct.
Absolutely.
And again, the government, well, on that side they may have failed, but again they are trying to solve that with the introduction of the e-teams.
Okay.
Because technology is helping them to economically correct the tax.
Okay.
So the issue of economy. The other one is the issue of certainty.
Okay.
At least I need to know from my salary how much am I supposed to pay in taxes.
Okay.
So it's not at the end of the month, that is when the government will say that this month we are charging 35%.
Yes.
Then next month, I am not very sure how much I'll pay.
Okay.
The turnover tax, we know that it is 3% of the revenue corrected.
Yes.
So at least you know, by the end of the day, whatever the revenue I make, this is what I'll pay. You see that element of certainty.
Okay.
The other one is the ease of correction.
Okay.
You see, the tax should be easily correctable.
Okay.
You see, without a lot of strain. Look at the employment. The income the tax that we pay on employment, it is deducted by the employer. Very easy. The employer will deduct, remit to the Kenya Revenue Authority. As simple as that. Can you imagine if the government said, the employer just pay the salary, it is upon every individual now to take the money to Kenya Revenue Authority. It would be impossible.
It would be impossible, and I can tell you no one will show up.
Yes.
Yes. So I like those 4 principles. They lay out, these are the principles that have been established. And I think if you look at even our current tax system, it really mirrors that, or those are the dynamics. Those are the ones that you play around with. You know, how easy is it to tax, and all that, and then the equality. So I think one of the, and you've already opened up the issue of tax on over turnover tax.
Yes.
So what are the map out for us the current tax structure as it is?
Okay. Now the Kenya Revenue Authority formed in year 2005.
Okay.
Before 2005, we did not have Kenya Revenue Authority.
Yes.
It was under the Central Bank of Kenya to have the government correct tax.
Okay.
In fact, there are some countries in Africa, they do not have a revenue authority.
Okay.
Tax still being corrected by the central bank.
Okay.
So the coming in of the Kenya Revenue Authority, if you remember that time, Musalia Mudavadi was the was the finance minister.
Okay.
And those are some of the greatest achievements he did for this country.
Okay.
That we got the Kenya Revenue Authority to correct tax.
Yes.
Now these taxes are classified, and the major one is the income tax.
Okay.
You see, the income tax, we talk of pay as you earn.
Yes.
It is an income from your income.
Yes.
Corporate tax.
Yes.
The income from the business.
Yes.
The turnover tax. The income that is generated by the MSMEs.
Okay.
You see, those small traders, the people with the small businesses,
Yes.
they may not fall under the value added tax
Yes.
because of the complexity in correction.
Yes.
So the government tried to simplify the correction of the tax from the MSMEs.
Yes.
So they came up with the TOT, the turnover tax. You pay tax on the sales.
Okay.
Up to the last year, 2023 July,
Yeah.
the turnover tax was 1%.
Okay.
It is now 3%.
Okay.
So we are looking at the correction of the taxes
Yeah.
by the Kenya Revenue Authority, the income tax. At the end of the year, companies pay corporate tax.
Yes.
Partnership will pay the tax on income, but that is not by the business, but through the individuals, the partners.
Okay.
But they will have to pay on behalf of their business, which is partnership.
Okay.
Then we got these other taxes like the excise duty that
Yes.
is corrected by KRA as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
We got there is this other part of the agency, KRA acting as an agent.
Okay.
There is this tax that was introduced last year, and which is the housing levy.
Yeah.
It is a tax, but Kenya Revenue Authority is treated as an agent to correct the tax for housing.
Okay.
In fact, when you are making the payment for that tax, you don't pay that tax together with the pay as you earn.
Okay.
It is paid separately to
Okay.
a different. Of course, it is to the common account,
Yeah.
but that money does not go to the same account. There is the housing.
Yes.
So the KRA act as an agent to correct this tax for housing.
Okay.
Because as per the law, this tax should be used to construct houses.
Okay.
You see, unlike the other one that you pay the pay as you earn, when it is deducted from your salary, it is not specific.
Okay.
What that tax is supposed to be put into.
Yes.
But the one for housing, it's very specific. It is for housing.
Yeah.
So it is put in a different kitty
Yeah.
or in a different account
Yeah.
from the other taxes. At least you can trace
Yes.
how much is the housing tax that has been corrected.
Yes.
So we got the whole thing about the taxation.
Yeah.
And this is where the Kenya Revenue Authority comes in.
Yeah.
They have the duty to correct tax.
Okay.
They should tell us, like so far in the last 5 years, our tax has increased by 35%.
Yes.
In the last 1 year, we have increased by 6.7% within the year that has not ended.
Yes.
6.7%.
Yes.
They are supposed to be giving us the report. How much they have corrected, when they have met the target, when they have missed the target. Are we growing as a country in tax correction?
Okay.
Yes.
I like that. You know, you have unpacked a lot of things there because, and I think one of the things that I know it's one of the most misunderstood thing, of course, is the housing levy.
Yes.
Pay as you earn, we all painfully pay that,
Yes.
right? Everybody, when you
Yes.
get employed, then your payroll people process your pay slip, and you look at that pay slip, and you don't like what you see.
Yes.
You know, you see a big chunk of your salary
Yeah.
being remitted to the government. But then now the housing tax. So this housing tax, you know, when people, I think the average person, I think we can go straight to that issue because it's the most confusing issue. When somebody looks at their pay slip,
Yes.
they look at what is left.
Yes.
And they look at all the line items that have gone out, right?
Yes.
So when the housing tax was added, or levy, yeah, and maybe you need to distinguish that, everybody is still wrestling with that issue. It's
Yes.
not very clear. So there are two things that are there. is that should Kenyans understand this as a tax or a levy, and if that makes a lot of difference, and then how do we, what's the assurance that this particular levy will be applied to the housing? I think you have alluded to it, but that's where, so please unpack that for us.
Housing levy.
Okay.
Initially,
yes,
it was supposed to be a levy, and which would be based on whether you need the house or you don't need the house.
Okay.
If you remember, initially you were told, it will be compulsory for everyone who is employed.
Okay.
But at the 7th year, at the end of the 7th year, in case you don't need that house, you can go and get back your money.
Okay, you can withdraw.
And actually, one of the convincing points that was there was, let us contribute. The employer will deduct 1.5%.
Yes.
He will add another 1.5%.
Yes.
The whole package is in your account.
Yes.
So in case at the end of the 7th year you will not need the house, you will get back your money.
Okay.
That is how it was initiated, which was a very good idea, because everybody would have told the employer, can you make sure that as you deduct mine, you also contribute, you add on my account.
Yes.
Whether I need or I don't.
Okay.
But at some point, when now we made it the law, things changed a little.
Okay.
It became a tax.
Okay.
It is a tax. Okay. Like you don't expect Kenya Revenue Authority or the government to refund the money that you contribute towards pay as you earn.
Okay.
You see, it is not direct to you. Okay, let me look at this. Let me try to explain it this way. When you look at the statutory deductions, we contribute towards the National Hospital Insurance Fund, which has changed. We contribute towards the retirement benefit. The retirement benefit, even if you deducted 80% of my salary, one thing I know is that on retirement, the money will come back to me.
Okay.
The Hospital Insurance Fund, in case I need the medical services, the money will be paid direct to me. Okay. You see, it's my money. It's only that I'll get the money in a different point.
Okay.
Now, the issue of housing levy is not like that. It is a tax, like the pay as you earn, like any other tax. When that money is deducted, it is completely detached from you.
Okay.
It is meant to finance the construction of the housing.
Yes.
It is a good idea on the provision of the housing to Kenyans, because we got people who are suffering. In this age and era, there are people who are sleeping outside. There are people who don't have shelter. And you see, it is a basic need to human being. Now, it is a very good idea. The government decided to deduct 1.5%, but it is detached from you. You cannot go say that my salary is 1.5 million. I contribute every month 15,000. That is 1.5. My employer adds another 15. So my kit every month I put 30,000. No, it doesn't have any relation with you. Yours is when you need that house. When the houses are ready, like any other person, you will apply.
Okay.
You will get to qualify for the house like anybody else. You will not say that I have contributed, I have not contributed. The houses are constructed. Now, this is where the problem is. When I get that house, I will pay for the house.
Okay.
And remember, the house has been contributed by a kitty from the Kenyan taxes.
Okay.
So if this house is complete, I will go buy the house. Now, I have paid for what has already been paid. So where will this money go? Let us assume the money will go in constructing more houses. But remember, Kenyans are still contributing. The other issue is, even after I have bought the house, I've cleared everything, I'll still continue
to contribute.
Contributing.
Okay.
So this is where the biggest challenge is.
Okay.
It is a good idea, but there are things that are not very clear, because if the house has been constructed, it is like when the government has provided security to our police officers from our taxes, we are not called upon to pay them again. Because they've already taxed us. And they will not say that, Gigi, your security will be 80% because your salary is higher. No, it is the role of the government to provide security to us. We are not called upon to go, unless it's a special case and you need special attention from the government. But under normal circumstances, the police officers are paid to provide security to all of us. So there is a problem, something that is not very clear about the housing, but it is a good idea. Actually, if we could get the housing for the people in this country.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I like about this conversation, you never know who is listening.
Yes.
And what kind of lobby, you know, that we can trigger in this conversation. So I think, the initial formulation where after 7 years you can actually withdraw your savings,
yes,
actually was was more attractive, because you are saying, now I am contributing this house levy. It's like NHIF, or rather it's like the health insurance.
Yes.
But the health insurance that I will access it as and when I need it. And if I don't need it, somebody else who needs
benefit
it more
from it,
can benefit, and the society is happy.
Yes.
But the housing levy is more specific, because it's a house that has economic benefit to whoever is a user. So you're saying, I think the provision that you can actually go and call out your funds after 7 years, I think should be maintained, so that then I know that it's not a net loss on the part of the contributor as such. Maybe I might not get the interest. Maybe, of course, the kit itself is useful in the sense that, you know, if you're going to construct houses, you're going to have some pool of funds, obviously. I mean, otherwise you're going to borrow from China. And we know that the Chinese one day might come for our houses. And the railway, like we have been saying. Yes. Anyway, so I think we can accept the fact that something needs to be done about that housing levy, and to streamline it. I think, I don't know what will happen when the motivation disappears.
Okay, now, tax is mandatory.
Okay.
We'll have to pay tax.
Yes.
There's no way out about it.
Yes.
Like the PSU1, you see, if I were asked, I would tell the government, please, don't deduct this thing from my pay slip.
Yes.
But now, it's mandatory. I'll have to pay. So the issue of housing will have to remain there, unless we have in future, they decide otherwise, but we'll have to pay the tax.
Okay.
The only thing that the government need to do for us, because we are already there, let them put the money to the intended use.
Okay.
If we can do that, with that burden, at least you know that you can access the house, it's fair to all of us. If they can do that, we don't have a problem. We'll complain and we'll pay. The problem would be, they are making the houses, I cannot get the houses. They are constructing the houses, I cannot get the houses. Okay. The house, you don't know how they are distributed. But if it is a fair deal, and everyone is given a fair platform to get the house, I think that is what everyone would wish, because it is a good idea.
Okay. One of the things I was raised, I thought, you know, recently, was the idea that the problem of a shortage of houses, housing, is actually a problem that is staring on Kenyans, especially with the rapid urbanization. So eventually we'll have a crisis. And of course, you know the laws of economics, supply and demand. If more people are moving into the city and the housing sector is not expanding, obviously you're going to have a crunch. And even the tax we are refusing to pay, that's what I was telling people, you know, that 1.5% you are refusing to pay, you pay to a landlord, because now the rents will shoot up. So I think if this program is properly implemented, it will actually be a benefit. But let's go back to the finance. Talk about the Finance Act of 2023. Its implication, because a lot of things have changed actually in the last 2 years in terms of taxes.
Okay. There is a lot that changed in the Finance Act of 2023. Some we feel as Kenyans, they are not very good. But I think the spirit behind it was to help this country.
All right.
Number one, the issue to do with the turnover tax.
Okay.
I want to break down the turnover tax, because Gigi and myself and our the viewers, some of them got some information. It may not be 100%, but they got some information. There is the person who supported the government.
Okay.
The Mama Mboga, the Buddha Buddha guy, the general called Wajiko, the Buddha Buddha, the Mama Mboga.
Yes.
The turnover tax is mostly on them.
Okay.
Not on the big guy. Not on the big guy with a supermarket with the 4 branches. You see, those ones are not under the TOT.
Okay.
Initially, it was 1%.
Okay.
On the revenue, the sales.
Okay.
If your sales per day is 10,000, you pay 1%, which is 100 shillings.
Okay.
Now, the Finance Act of 2023 increased it to 3%.
Okay.
I don't have a problem if it is possible, it is fair to all of us.
Okay.
The reason I say that, if you look at the big guys, they pay 30% of their profit.
Okay.
That is the revenue, deduct all their allowable expenses, whatever remain, that is the one that you are charged 30%.
Okay.
So you know that under any circumstance, the taxman will not eat on your investment.
Okay.
I want to give a breakdown, and sometimes I look at the turnover tax and I feel for the Mama Mboga.
All right.
Look at it this way.
Yes.
A loaf of bread is 70 shillings.
All right.
Let me give it a standard price of 70 shillings because we have around there different, depending on the different brands.
Brands and sizes.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
But the 400 grammage one is 70 shillings.
Okay.
I have been a distributor of milk when I was a student, so I know the margin.
Okay.
I have been in a shopkeeper when I was student, so I know the margin.
Okay.
When the bread is delivered to the distributor in Kariobangi.
Okay.
The lorry come from the company with crates of bread.
Okay.
They deliver the bread to the distributor.
Let's say you take 5 crates.
You take 5 crates.
Yes.
A crate has 20 loaves of bread.
Okay.
The profit margin from when I was a distributor as a student to today is still 2 shillings per bread, per loaf of bread.
Okay.
Now, that means this company deliver the bread at 68 shillings.
Okay.
Not 68, 66 shillings.
Okay.
66 shillings.
Yes.
Now, this guy adds 2 shillings when they are selling to the shopkeeper.
Okay.
In Korogocho, in Dadora, in Kayore, in Kiadutu, Vika, in Nyeri, that's the standard.
Okay.
They get it at 66, they add 2 shillings.
They
to sell to the shopkeeper at 68. The shopkeeper sells at
70.
70.
All right.
Now, turnover tax comes in.
Yes.
This shopkeeper, assuming deals with the bread only, I'm only giving an example.
Yes.
So it's supposed to pay, at the end of the day, it's supposed to pay 3%.
Yeah.
What is 3% of 70 shillings? It is 2.1 shillings.
Okay.
2.1.
Yes.
And how much did this shopkeeper buy the bread? At 68.
Yes.
So the 2 shillings have been taken by the tax man, plus another part of the investment, 0.1.
Yes.
This is where the problem is.
Okay. 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 I think you have laid it out. You have laid it out very well. Now, Ake, this is the question I will ask you. Because you are a tax expert and finance, I mean, even the guys who sit in those committees discussing these numbers and the percentages and the turnover tax, I'm sure those guys, they have some level of finance understanding. How on earth did these guys actually pass this law? And the second question is, do they really expect that Mama Mboga is going to cooperate and pay that turnover tax?
Number one, as I said when I started, 248 years ago, Adam Smith had seen this.
Yes.
But today, we have a member of parliament who is exposed, who don't see this.
Okay.
So unfortunate.
Yes.
Because he talked of equality in taxation. Pay based on what you get.
Yes.
Now the Mama Mboga sells the bread and pay 2.1. Remember, this person has invested, they pay rent, electricity, their other costs that need to be met from this profit,
Okay.
from the bread, from the milk profit.
Yes.
But now the Kenya Revenue Authority has taken everything, because that is the reality. Milk, bread, their margins are allowed there.
Absolutely. I'm going to stop you there because we got to take a short break. Bwana Kairu here, he's breaking things down. And I think the further away we go from Adam Smith's book of 1776. Now, the reason why I'm interested in that book is because I teach economics. And if you're teaching economics or finance and introducing students, that's where you start from. 1776, the same year the United States of America was, gained independence. So it's a very interesting starting point, and some of the principles that were laid out then affect us today. Those principles apply, and when we actually lose that direction, Bwana Kairu, definitely we're going to miss the boat. We're going to run off into a cliff. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we continue with this conversation. We are talking about taxes, the pain, the parcel, and the paradoxes of paying taxes, and we are trying to break down some of those paradoxes. So don't go away, take a short break. We're coming back to this conversation.
Nico Works Now Trust is a program that comes to you on Elevate TV every Friday at 7:30 p.m. In this program, we dwell into the journey of small and micro enterprises in the country.
Tulikuwa tunafulia watu manguo, wengine walikuwa wameandikwa house girls, lakini saa hii tumetoka hapo.
You can get the story from domestic workers to people handling 150,000 shillings per month. They're just 13 people. We look at the challenges that they're facing.
The city council will harass you for anything, whether you have documents or not. Roads, traffic, such things really affect us.
And we tap into the opportunities available in the sector.
Hiyo unit tulikuwa tunaambiwa tusikue employees, tujaribu tukue ma employers. So nikaamua naweza anzisha kakao kadogo mashinani.
So nikaona badala niuze gas pekee, nikaanza na vitabu kidogo, books za kuandika na stationery. Nikasoga hivyo, after some time nikaona I still can sell the textbooks.
Join me, Collins Otas, every Friday at 7:30 p.m. on Elevate TV, and let us journey together in this show.
All right, welcome back. I'm actually trying to share the links with those that are following this conversation. I think there are people who should be following this conversation very seriously. So I've shared with you the links so that then you can dive into this conversation. Bwana Kairu, before we get started on to the next part, the second part of our conversation today, I want to first of all promote this book, or rather just tell our people. There is a book here. Mr. Kairu is actually a publisher. He's a businessman, and he's also a publisher. He's both a publisher, author and publisher, and especially in matters finance. So there's a book here he's produced. This is called Advanced Management of Finance. It's actually for those of you who are doing CPA or MBA or other financial specialization, MSc in finance and all that. This is a very, very good book. Absolutely amazing. Capital market line and all that, and all the other formulas. Finance is a difficult subject, Bwana Kairu. But I think I like, before we went to the break, we were talking about
The turnover tax.
the turnover tax
Yes.
and how that tax, while it's probably well meant, and I think maybe the formulators were saying, look, let everybody pay tax.
Yes.
So how do we get Mama Mboga and the small guy
Yes.
participate without too much pain and confusion?
Yes.
They brought in the turnover tax. It's only 3%, okay?
Yes.
But now we have illustrated by a very simple example
Yes.
that it presents a problem because
Yeah.
it's tax on total
Sales.
on sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the total invoice.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, I was trying to bring an image
Yes.
of why the 3% is too high.
Yes.
Now, someone will argue, because sometimes you go to some forum and says, but Mama Mboga does not deal with bread only.
Yes.
There are some other items that make profit.
Yes.
But what is the spirit of taxation? It is on income.
Okay.
If this bread is not making profit,
Yes.
it should not be taxed.
Exactly.
Now, forget about that.
Yes.
There is this bread distributor.
Yes.
That one deals with bread only.
Yes.
They get the 50 crates, distribute in the estate.
Yes.
In Mudhurwa, they distribute. That
Yes.
is their business. They don't have any other business
Yes.
in that venture.
Yes.
This person get the bread at 66,
Yes.
sell at 68
Yes.
to the shopkeeper.
Okay.
They pay turnover tax.
Okay.
Now, the turnover tax they pay is the 3%.
Okay.
This 3%, the 3% of 68 shillings is 2.04.
Okay.
Meaning, the 2 shillings he got from the company has already been wiped away by the tax
and
man.
he has,
And he has called upon to add 0.4 to the government.
Okay.
Now, where is this person? I will bring the issue of tax evasion and the tax avoidance.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
For this man to survive,
Yes.
and I'm saying this,
On
even
TV.
if I was on with KRA,
Yes.
this is what I'll tell them.
Yes.
The only way this person will survive
Yes.
is pure tax evasion.
Okay.
He will be running away
Yes.
anytime he hear that KRA is coming.
Yes.
Why? Because he will be told, you sold bread at 68 shillings. Where is our 3%?
Okay.
Give them the 3%. And you know that is very easy to correct.
Yes.
Because it is a single invoice from the company that supplied the bread.
Yeah, the bread
You see,
manufacturer.
it is a single invoice. There is no any other way he can hide.
Yes.
So what do you expect? This person can only do it by tax
Hiding.
evasion.
Okay.
Running away.
Yes.
This is not what we want. We want people who feel that I have made some profit. Yes, I don't want to pay, but I can pay and be left with something.
Absolutely. And I think, Kairu, I think it needs to be said, this forum is basically to discuss, the pain, the paradox, and the pass of taxes. So what you're saying is that it is very easy for our representatives, members of parliament, when they go and sit in those forums and discuss and caucus about these taxes and maybe vote through their party lines.
Yes.
I mean, we are in Kenya Kwanza government, or we are in the other side of things. We caucus some of the other guys from the other side of the floor. They come on our side and we pass these things.
Yes.
And the party is happy, everybody is happy. Tunataka serikali iendelee. Amtaka kuangusha serikali. But then now you're saying when it really comes down to the wire, these are very impractical tax
Yes.
structures.
Let me say this.
Yes.
For a country to grow, you don't look at the big guys only, the companies, the big companies only.
Yes.
Remember, they are the small, the mama bogas, who tomorrow will be owning a shop. Next day they have a supermarket, and the other day they have the branches all over.
Yes.
I'm very sure you can attest that the biggest supermarket we have in this country,
yes,
they started very small.
Actually, Naivas, for example, Naivas and
yes,
even Taxki,
Taxes, the Nakumat, they all, if you look at the history, Someone started a shop, a small supermarket, mini-mart, supermarket, 2 branches, 5 branches. We are talking of supermarket with 100 branches.
Yes.
Why did they make it to that?
Yes.
Because at that low level, someone did not harass them.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not saying that they should not pay tax.
Yes.
But let us be lenient to them so that these guys can grow. They are the ones who will be paying millions of money. If we kill them at that level,
yes,
we will not have the big guys.
Okay, so I think the point is made. So let's now come back to the academic guys,
Yes.
who now who are puzzling over this. You know, there are people who might be listening to who are auditors, and maybe they are saying, well, these guys should get to the nitty-gritties of things. So talk about e-TIMIs, because currently, you know, those people who are implementing taxes, I mean, let's just say the laws have been passed, so the pain is left with the accountant.
Yes.
The guy, the payroll guy, the accountant who has
Yes.
to process these things and make it work for the organization. Talk about e-TIMIs. It's one of those things that is currently a big puzzle. And what problem do you see currently facing the accounting people?
Okay. Now, let me start from here. Among, I always say that among the top 5 things that nature has given us,
yes,
one of them is technology.
Yes.
If you think of God gave us oxygen,
yes,
I think technology
yes,
is one of the very best 5 things. And why would I say that? It has helped us
yes,
to do things that would not do when we didn't have technology and when technology was not accessible.
Okay.
We have the internet that is helping us.
Yes.
The Kenya Revenue Authority, with the very smart people we have there,
yes,
because we got brilliant people,
okay,
they thought of e-TIMs.
okay.
Now, what is this? What is the idea behind the e-TIMs?
Okay.
It is not meant to harass anyone.
Yes.
It is meant to make things easier.
Okay.
When I make a sale, let me start from when I go to the distributor,
yes,
I buy.
Okay.
For sale,
yes,
I'm supposed to give the distributor my KRA PIN.
Okay.
So that when they are generating the invoice,
yes,
they indicate that we sold to Kairu goods worth 200,000
yes,
and we charged tax.
Okay.
When I take these goods to my shop,
yes,
I will sell.
Okay.
Maybe I'm selling to final consumer who does not need to claim the VAT.
Okay.
But I could be selling to another person who need to claim. Maybe I'm selling to Elevate TV and they are registered for VAT.
Yes.
So they will buy the goods from my shop.
Okay.
They will give me the KRA PIN. I indicate that these guys I sold to them.
Yes.
So KRA is already aware
yes,
that I bought from Bwana Gichuki.
Yes.
Now I have sold to Elevate TV.
Yes.
So when Gichuki is doing the return,
yes,
he will automatically KRA is aware.
Okay.
He sold to me.
Yes.
Now, when I'm making the payment for VAT,
yes,
I will go to KRA. I tell you, you know what, guys?
Yeah.
I made sales. Out of this, I charged 16%.
Yes.
But I had paid through my distributor 16% on purchases.
Yes.
So again, I cannot pay you the entire 16%.
Yes.
I'll pay the difference.
Okay.
The e-TIMs is meant to make it easy.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, and I think
Yes,
we need to say that very very clearly, especially to those people who are in finance, in accounting. You know, this show, while I understand some of the people watching, perhaps they are watching it for entertainment purposes, but yes, we're trying to educate you, you know, because we know you need that, because some of these puzzles are very complicated. What you are saying is that now, I know there has always been a small nagging problem of you know, kind of balancing out VAT in and VAT out. So you're saying the e-TIMs actually now comes in and to you know, kind of to automate that system,
yes,
in a way that actually you probably just need to punch in your invoice, and when at the end of the month, when you are doing your calculation, if you have a you know, a kind of a system, a financial system,
yes,
it will work out the net very well for you.
In fact, e-TIMs will help a lot. The issue of determining how much VAT I need to pay at the end of the month the system, okay, of course, at the start, it has its own challenges.
Okay.
There are quite a number of challenges. People don't understand. At the same time, we have the system that is not very well integrated. Those are challenges when you are starting.
Yes.
The time that e-teams will work,
Yeah.
it will be very easy. Sometimes you look at the accountant, we are the most unlucky people when the technology come.
Yes.
The business people will tell you, I used to pay you to do my VAT, and do I really need you? Because anytime I go and buy,
Yes.
I give my my KRA pin, it is
Automatically.
captured.
Yes.
When I make sale, it is captured. I can determine, I can tell from my portal
Yeah.
how much VAT I'm supposed to pay.
Yes.
The guy will only generate the payment and make the payment. So the e-teams will help in that. It got some other advantages which have not come out clearly,
Okay.
because it is also supposed to help you to manage your inventory.
Okay,
The stock.
okay, okay, okay.
So when you buy, you see you've already bought. You
Yes.
put your stock in the system.
Okay.
When you sell, the stock is out. So
Yes.
you can also use it to manage your stock. That is how good it is.
Okay.
But now the problem is, people don't have the full information.
Okay.
But I can tell you, we will get to a point where KRA will not listen to anything that did not pass through the e-teams.
Okay.
Whether, as long as you're in business,
Okay.
whether you deal with vertible goods or not,
Yes.
you're supposed to register for e-teams.
Okay.
The other thing that is intended
Yes.
to be achieved under the e-teams
Yes.
is that at the end of the year, when you are preparing your financial statements,
Yes.
what do you show? Sales, purchases, you offset. Of course, there is that part of the cost of sales.
Yes.
The opening stock plus purchases minus the closing stock, that is what you deduct from the purchases.
Yes.
KRA will deal with the purchases that passed through the system.
Okay.
If your purchases amounted to 10 million shillings through the system, and you know there are some other purchases you did which did not pass through the system, you cannot use them to reduce the taxable income.
Okay.
So the thing is, everyone who is in business should be on e-teams.
Wonderful. And,
Yes.
and I think you have laid it out very well. I mean, especially because there are people who run, they may look small scale, but they run very, very serious business. Somebody who is doing a hardware,
Yes.
some of the big guys who have a few shops, maybe even 2 or 3 shops, they are already big enough. If you're transacting to the tune of, say, 50 million per year, or maybe 2 million per month, you're already in that territory. So what you're saying is that if you use the e-teams properly,
yes,
you can have tax advantage, because now you'll be able to show every one of these purchases, you know, they were cost to me. And therefore,
Yes.
when I'm paying tax, I have to net those. I mean, you've just given a very quick formula. So I think we are educating you guys. We are helping you understand. So really, when you think about taxes, some people really are frightened. Some people think that, well, look, the government is out to get us. The government is out to nyanyaza the small business person. Actually, that is not the case. The technology and some of the services that are available can actually give you advantage. You are able to actually genuinely comply, and actually you can have advantage. You will pay only the tax that is due. And that actually then reduces the other risk associated with non-payment of tax, isn't
Yes.
it? And I think you need to mention that to people.
That
you can sink your business.
Yes. What I see is that today, if you have an issue in the court, what
Yes.
do? You go get a lawyer.
Yes.
The biggest mistake you will make is to say that I have an issue in the court and I'll go there myself.
Yes.
The other guy will come with a lawyer. You are there alone. The chances that you lose this case are very high.
Okay.
Business people have failed
Yes.
in one thing.
Yes.
When you get into business,
Yes.
can you engage a consultant,
Okay.
an accountant, someone who is professionally qualified? The way you will go get a lawyer to tell you, you see, we have lawyers even in our companies to be advising us.
Yes.
But people fail to engage tax consultant, to engage finance advisors to help them do things right.
Okay.
In fact, most of the people are suffering because they did not have someone to tell them, this is what you need to do to deal with this issue of taxation.
Yes.
Some of these problems we have, they are avoidable.
Okay.
But because I decided to do it, I don't have any understanding of what happened in KRA, what is expected of me with the taxes, you do things your way.
Yeah.
When problem come, you call an accountant, the accountant will tell you for sure, I cannot help on this one. And you needed something little to have that accountant to tell you, let us make sure all our purchases pass through the e-teams. So that at the end of the year, we will not cook books.
Okay.
We will present the books the way they are.
All right.
As simple as that. So I would advise people in business, even if you don't have a full-time accountant,
yes,
can you have someone, like you have a doctor when you are not feeling well, you call, some of them you call them and tell them, I am feeling this and that and that, what could be the problem? The doctor will tell you, immediately go to the hospital.
Yes.
Or go to the chemist, take some drugs, you will be okay. We need to have that guy who assists you anytime you need assistance in finance, taxation, and running your business.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is an amazing conversation. I really wanted to bring Bwana Kairu because Bwana Kairu is very, very, very familiar with, you know, the intricacies of business finance. And you're saying some of the problems and people are, especially the smaller scale businesses, they are so afraid of, you know, like compliance. So first of all, they are scared of compliance, while actually they don't realize it's like somebody who is having a headache and they are ignoring it. And one of these days, then you are wheeled to the hospital, you know, flat on your belly because there's something that has gone very wrong. So we are telling some of you guys who are in business, any one of you who is in business, whether you're running what you consider small scale, get the advice of a financial expert, somebody who knows taxation, and in fact, even just a one-off conversation at the beginning of the year, maybe a day or two, they can actually look through your business structure the way, and they tell you this is what you need to put in place. So I think even, and that may be a very small fee, because if you're going to hire a lawyer to help you with the purchase of land or a contract for some business deal you're doing, you need a finance advisor. Wonderful. So let's talk about something else that is in the public domain. It's very quiet. People are not talking about it, and there are very many advantages. The amnesty.
The amnesty.
Yes.
In 2023, the Finance Act.
Yes.
You see, we've concentrated too much on the things that we feel are negative about it.
Yes.
These guys have introduced the housing levy. They have increased the taxes, the corporate tax on the PSU1, the tax bracket, the 24,000, 33,000, 32.5%, 35%. You see, we have all that, but they are good things. Of course, all of them are good, but when you look at them negatively, we concentrate too much on them. Tax amnesty.
Talk about tax amnesty.
The government, through the Finance Act of 2023,
yes,
agreed that they will give an amnesty on penalties and interest from December 2022 backward. If you know that you have a burden of penalties that you've never paid, the interest charged by the taxman, KRA, because you delayed in the payment of tax, the government agreed, let us offload this burden. The only thing that the government will not do away with from your account is the principal tax. Let me give an example. There are so many people in this republic who registered, or the person who registered them for KRA PIN included the obligation, income tax. That one should always be there. And they included the VAT. But this person is not in the vatable trading bracket. So they have that burden that they have always carried. And you know, if you don't do the return, every month 10,000. So there are people who have the VAT from back as far as 2015.
Okay.
You imagine 10,000 every month from 2015.
Okay.
Big burden.
Okay.
The penalties. But this person, maybe they registered, they thought that it is just an ordinary thing. Someone registered, they did not even inform you. Your KRA PIN has a burden of VAT.
Okay.
So the government decided, let us not carry this burden.
Okay.
Let us help people to offload this burden.
Okay. Okay.
And for that one, I can tell you,
Yeah.
so many people, the burden has been removed.
Okay.
The only thing you need to do,
Yes.
can you make sure if you have some principle,
Yes.
from 2022 backward,
Yes.
just clear that principle. Don't pay the interest
Okay.
and the penalty.
Okay.
That one, the government will just clear it.
Okay.
In case you see that they are delaying in do it, try to trigger it.
Okay.
Go pay 1 bob.
Okay.
Whichever the amount,
Yes.
just generate the payment slip.
Okay.
Pay 1 bob.
Okay.
You will trigger it.
Yes.
It will be cleared.
Okay.
The other thing where the majority of people have not gotten
Yes.
is that the personal taxes, there are so many people who do not do annual returns.
Okay.
You see, you only get that penalty of 2,000
Yes.
if you are an individual.
Uh-huh.
If it is a company, you will be penalized 20,000 each year.
Okay.
Unless you make the returns, you will not get that penalty.
Okay.
So the government, KRA, will only clear that penalty after it has been put on your KRA PIN.
Okay.
So what do I mean? And I would want everyone to understand this.
Yes.
If you have not been making returns,
Yes.
and so many people are in fear, they come to me, I tell them, you make return every year, 2,000.
Yes.
If you are a company, maybe you have not been trading, you'd want to trade with this company, every year, 20,000.
Yes.
The last 5 years, 100,000.
Yes.
Don't fear.
Yes.
If you have not been trading,
Yes.
go make the returns.
Okay.
They will do the penalties, the 20,000.
Yeah.
For the individuals, there are people who, when they hear about KRA, it is like, don't talk about hell when I'm around.
Yeah.
No, KRA is not like that.
Yes.
Go get someone, if you cannot do the returns for yourself,
Yes.
especially the people who don't have income.
Yes.
Just make those returns.
Yes.
Let the penalties accrue.
Okay.
They will all be wiped.
Okay.
Yes. In case there is any principal that you have not paid, pay the principal because you knew that you are supposed to pay the tax. Pay that tax.
Okay.
Leave the interest. The government will clear.
Okay.
The other thing in that amnesty that the government has done, and sometimes I think about the decision makers at KRA, and I feel we got a brilliant team. It's only that charges are there.
Yes.
The people with VAT obligation in the KRA PIN,
Yes.
KRA have started cleaning their database.
Okay.
They are removing, because if you have been making nil return, you registered for VAT in 2016.
Yes.
You've never declared even a single month where you paid them. You've been making nil return.
Yes.
Because you don't deal with it, vatable goods.
Yes.
They are clearing. You see, they are clearing the database.
Okay.
To remove the VAT registered people or PINs who do not pay anything.
Okay.
Either you have not been making the returns or you have been doing nil return, they are removing the VAT burden from your PIN. Next time when you need it, you will go to KRA, they will register you. Then they will ask you, of course, these days they are very strict.
Yes.
It is not the days that you used to walk to KRA, you tell them I need to be registered for VAT, and you are registered. No, they at least they are trying to make a follow-up to see whether do you really need the VAT.
Okay.
Maybe you are a small trader, you can do the TOT.
Okay.
If they will try to follow up to understand your business before registering you.
Wonderful.
That will help a lot. And the amnesty is great. Great. Let people take advantage of it, please. Even if you don't want to hear anything else about KRA, take advantage of the amnesty.
All right.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think that is absolutely amazing. I'm sure you've really learned a lot this morning talking about, VAT. I know there are church people who are watching this and all that, and I think we'll not dive into that because I think categorizing church in terms of taxation, that's a very complex idea. We will not go into it. Let's talk about, as we wrap this up, about the information asymmetry, the idea that the need for civic education. You know, from where you sit, Bwana Kairu, you're a finance expert. You've been working with finances for many years. What do you feel that the average Kenyan is insufficiently educated about taxes and finances, and what do you think can be done about it?
Thank you so much for that question, because I need to help someone.
Yes.
Sometimes I do forums for the MSMEs. They come together. I try to take them through the management of their businesses, the management of finance, the issue to do with the taxes.
Yes.
The most recent one I held in Thika.
Okay.
The MSMEs.
Yes.
I asked them a question.
Yes.
Okay, let us all run away from tax because it is a burden.
Yes.
But I want you to tell me, out of the group we have here,
yes,
how many has employees you are paying more than 24,000?
Okay.
Do you know in that forum,
yes,
there was none?
Okay.
Who was paying more than 24,000?
Yes.
Because they are small traders, they are paying 10,000, 15,000, 20,000.
Yes.
The highest 25,000.
Yes.
And this is the person who hear KRA and they are like, this is an enemy, they want to kill me. And you know what?
Yes.
The information, people don't have the information. With that category of employees, do you know you don't pay any pay? You
yes,
are only required to make the returns. Tell KRA, I have these employees. You will not pay anything. You will not deduct them anything.
Okay.
Information
is power.
Power. People don't have information. I would urge KRA. Can you make forum and the civic education? Let people understand you.
Yes.
Because the problem is that they don't understand you. As I wind up, the greatest conflict in marriage is when a husband does not understand the wife and the wife does not understand the husband. The moment you understand each other, you move to eternity. KRA, we don't understand you. We need to understand you. People will comply.
Okay, absolutely amazing. This is an amazing conversation. This guy called KRA, if we can understand you or you can understand us, then perhaps the fight will be over. So that's an amazing conclusion for this Monday Morning Digest. As you can tell, we have not even scratched the surface. If you would like to get in touch with my guest, he's Kairu Maguta. He runs a company called Chania Publishers and other businesses. He's a trainer. The number, you can call the number on the screen. You can get in touch with me. I can link you up with Bwana Kairu. If you have a seminar or you have a workshop where you need somebody to come and talk about finances, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us, and then we can link you up. So thank you very much, Bwana Kairu, for coming for this show. I will be calling you back here so that then we can talk about the other issues we didn't touch. So this is the Monday Morning Digest. That's all we had for you, and we'll look forward to one more conversation, one more time when we come back here. God bless you. Have a great day. We'll see you again. Bye for now.